It is slightly over a month now since Cameroonians celebrated the 53rd National Day with pomp and fanfare across the 10 regions of the country, and in the presence of the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, in Yaoundé. Out of curiosity, I took interest in the number of messages of congratulations from world leaders addressed to President Paul Biya following the celebrations. But as a matter of fact, I lost count, because the messages kept flowing in an exponential manner. However, I remember so vividly reading some of the messages from leaders of the G20 member states. That includes the United States of America, China, France, Germany, United Kingdom, Russia, and you can name the rest. And of course, not leaving out President Paul Biya's counterpart of the African Union. That is his brothers and sisters of the African continent. One key and obvious question emerged along the line. Why the overflow of messages of congratulations to President Paul Biya at the dawn of Cameroon's National Day celebration? The answer to this question is as obvious as the question itself. Because President Paul Biya is a symbol of peace and solidarity on the international scene, and a major stakeholder in the global conversation, who has made his voice heard loud and clear on questions of global concern on several instances, and still standing up to the vulnerabilities of the moment. The very discreet and enigmatic leader, the wise man of Africa and beggar of peace, will be remembered for championing the peaceful settlement of the Bakassi conflict between Cameroon and neighboring Nigeria. He will be remembered for his significant donation of over 3 billion CFA francs to Global Fund at the 6th Replenishment Conference in Lyon, France, to fight against AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria around the globe. President Paul Biya will be remembered for his immense contribution towards the fight against terrorism at regional and sub-regional levels, as well as other emerging transborder crimes that continue to threaten global peace and security. He will also be remembered for his legendary hospitality, playing host to hundreds of thousands of refugees from neighboring countries, and the list is inexhaustive. President Paul Biya's diplomacy, call it the diplomacy of proximity, an open-door diplomacy, or diplomacy without frontiers, has gained international admiration to the advantage of his fellow compatriots, particularly those in the diaspora. With his force of experience and the power of his diplomacy, President Paul Biya has built bridges, bridges of peace and solidarity across the globe, bridges of mutual understanding, mutual respect, and mutual interest at bilateral and multilateral levels. And lastly, certainly not the least, he has built diplomatic doors for Cameroonians to knock in search of greater opportunities and greener pastures abroad. In fact, the epilogue of President Paul Biya's outstanding diplomatic outings is still to be written.